When did you have a vaginal rejuvenation?
Several years ago.
Did it take a long time to heal?
It did. There was too many fillers. It was leaking. So we want to make sure that it was nipped and tucked properly.
Hearts gather round, it's Delta Work, and I want you all to check out Courtney Act's new show, R&R, where she tackles the world's biggest issues with some amazing guests. It's a new mom show, and it's all sponsored by Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/Courtney50off and use code Courtney50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
Oh.
Mom!
Our season has arrived.
Let's party! Let's celebrate!
Oh my God, are you gay like me?
Very gay!
Not just gay, LGBTQIA.
Honey!
Are you an ally?
Very ally!
You don't mind when a bitch poses nasty.
Homosexual, homosexualis, homosexualidad, creature, yes God, slay mama, the house down boots. Is it giving, daughter? Because I am ready to give what's meant to be given.
Mother!
Oh, sick.
I'm Delta Work, a living, breathing woman, and you are watching Very Delta.
Slay, bitch!
My guest today knows about nude lipstick, red lipstick, and free tacos at Taco Bell. It's my friend Ivy Colby.
Hi, Delta.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited.
Me too. I've been looking forward to being here and being a fan of your podcast, and now I'm here.
Well, the thing about when I have my close friends here is I sometimes forget that we're not in a phone conversation.
Right.
So then I get nervous after the fact because I'm like, wait, what were we talking about? And what screenshots were we sharing? Because we share a lot of screenshots.
One too many. From zooming in all the way, and I know exactly who that is, when that was, and I worked with them. So I know exactly what you're sending me.
Normally it's gray tights. It is yellow blush.
Right.
It is hairlines that are made of screen door.
Very.
It's that kind of stuff.
Bacon bits.
Bacon bits.
Yes.
Stubble bubble.
Stubble bubble. Very appropriate for a drag brunch.
And I think the reason it's fine for us to do that with one another is because we see it in ourselves all the time. We're like, oh my, because we'll point it out in ourselves.
Right.
Look at me. I'm on my third show of the day and my beard is completely coming out.
Right.
You know
and we
what I
have
mean?
that camaraderie of like, you know, these are my sisters. These are my drag family. I want them to look just as good as I want to look out there.
Right.
So we really watch out for each other at the end of the day.
But then we also laugh at them when they're butt ugly.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be shared in that group chat. And you know what? We have thick skin and we enjoy it. And it gets passed around more than you know. Yeah.
I have a question for you that goes very far back. I wasn't there, but I know someone who was there. And the question is, and you're going to have to think about this.
Yeah.
Did you ever get enough?
Just can't get enough.
Did you ever get enough?
I never did because Willem didn't. I know exactly
you know what I'm talking about?
Because I performed Just Can't Get Enough by the Sugar Babes at Oasis in Upland. And back then, that was the only show you could be in. It was to compete.
Yeah.
And I competed for Drag Idol with DJ West. And Willem happened to be the guest host that evening. I performed Just Can't Get Enough. And Douglas over here recorded that in high def video.
Uh-huh.
I saw it on YouTube. And the side eye I gave Willem, oh my goodness, iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she kind of like looks over crazy. I think she was curious about the sucker. Where did you buy the sucker? Because that was the prop you really needed.
That was the sucker.
Do you still do suckers in your numbers?
A few of them. I can do suckers. You know about a sucker and a number too.
You just walk around with it.
Walk around with it, glob roll over it, you know, make love to it.
Do you save it for the next number or do you buy multiple and then have a fresh one each time?
I have a fresh one each time. You're not going to throw that back in your luggage because you know that's going to collect hair, dust, glitter.
But some of the girls do.
Oh, they do.
Right.
That's why it's textured.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you know I use that candy cane like at Christmas. And so as soon as Christmas stuff is out, I buy like a dozen because I'm like, I don't think I'll perform it more than 12 times.
Right.
And if I perform it less than that, I just throw them away and I can get more next year.
Well, you're a rich lady. Baby.
Yeah, we are rich.
Yeah, rich.
We are rich.
Honey.
I rely on you for a million different things. And one of those things is I rely on you as a personal shopper. And not everybody knows this, but you will send me something and you'll say like, this is the lipstick I think you'll need, I won't question it. I'll just buy it. And if it takes me too long, she'll show up and she'll be like, it's your birthday. That lipstick that you didn't buy, here's the lipstick. And I remember you had bought me this thing of like all the velvet teddies in every formula. Because I was like, what is the powder kiss? What is this? What is that? And you just set down this thing and you're like, here, stop asking about every formula. They're all here now. And I have them all. And of course, you knew that I love that. But you'll send me links of like wigs.
Right.
There's not been one that I haven't purchased. Do you love finding that stuff? Do you stay up all night looking for and then you're like, I think this person would like that?
Absolutely. Like, working with you has and getting a chance to know you in the shows that we're in. I know what I like and I know what you like.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see something, I was like, I know Delta will like this. And also, I want to share the wealth with my friends, especially if I know this is going to compliment you and look good on you.
And that's so, really, I feel like this could be like a whole career for you as a personal shopper, cultivating things for people that have an idea of what they want, but they don't know really where to find it. And you are so good at saying like that person, like, that like I'm a sucker for pink lipstick.
Right.
Or a nude that's going to stay on. And when I say this, like, I really trust Ivy with these things. Like, she knows my Achilles heel. She knows that I'm like, oh girl, my lips, like the area around my mouth is just cracking. So you've suggested to me, like, try this product, try that, like, give it a chance. How do you know all that with makeup? Because you know so much about makeup.
The funny part with that is before I started doing drag about 15 years ago, I was doing freelance and I was doing weddings. I was doing prom makeup for girls and for everyone. But what fascinated me with drag was makeup. That was the number one thing. And it's still the strongest asset I have with drag.
Right.
And I tried it out and, I had great friends that supported me. I was like, just do it. And what led me to my first performance at Oasis. Again, going back to, the early club days when there were not a lot of shows. No, not at all. And the only way to really, perform was to compete, whether you won the week before or you lost the week prior, that was the only way to get on stage. Right. And I said, you know what, I'm good with makeup. I feel like the rest, these are skills that I could learn along the way as I continue performing. Right.
We all started somewhere in a competition. I remember doing my competitions. Actually, Wes used to have the same competitions at Ripples.
Oh my goodness.
And at a place called Ultra Suede in West Hollywood, which was across the street from the Abbey, and it's now something else. But we used to do Dragorama and Dragalicious. And it was that thing where you wanted to perform. So you would go in, and even if you lost, the next week you would show up with a number. So we've both been in a lot of that. Yes, about a decade apart, but the same idea. Now we share a space that I love. And that is when we get to judge Facade, which is like a 16-week competition.
Right.
I think it's about 16 weeks. Our friend Psychedella and Big D present that, but we judge that. And I always love hearing your critiques because you always start with a positive and a negative. And when I say negative, I don't mean that you're looking for something negative. You look for something for them to improve upon.
Yeah.
Where do you come from with the judging?
I wish I had that when I was starting. The contests back then were very just much you either won or you didn't, but you never got to hear feedback. And that was one thing I feel like was lacking when I was starting drag. And with Facade, it's such an honor to be asked as one of the rotating judges. My goal is to build the performers up to the best of their ability.
These competitions are so important because we know that a lot of our community is driven by RuPaul's Drag Race, Dragula, Mastraga, all these shows. But it's really us entertaining in the clubs is a week-to-week, night-to-night thing. And that's what keeps them going.
Right. And also, too, I'm a proud bar queen as much as you are. I really learned a lot from being a bar queen.
Yeah.
If I didn't have Facade, if I didn't have Psychedella, as rotten as she is,
she is awful.
Yeah, as rotten and awful as she is really a drag mother to all. She gave me my first opportunity at Hamburger Mary's Long Beach, and from there on, it just snowballed and created this monster. So
yeah,
thanks Psychedella for all of this.
It's your fault.
It's her fault, Lee.
It's entirely your fault.
Fucking mad.
And I mean, it's no secret. We, in addition to doing brunches together,
Right.
night shows together, private events, corporate events. I mean, we've been doing this now well into a second decade together.
Right.
But also we used to go consistently to like T-Girl Saturdays,
Right.
T-Girl Tuesdays at Hamburger Mary's. And we would sit on the patio and we would call it the parade, which meant watch everybody come in their best, in their shiniest, and have a good time and act up and act out and show up and show out. And it was just, there's so much camaraderie in that. But also in that, many of us found people that were like, hey, I don't really go out much.
Right.
I want to go out. I don't know how to do my makeup. And many of them are like, can I hire you to do my makeup? And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, it is, of course, a way to make money.
Right.
But also these people are trusting you, you know, because many of them, when we think of our community, we think of like drag entertainers, then we think of trans people who are also show people.
Right.
Then we also think of like this fringe area of cross-dresser, transvestism, of people who are like, I don't really know who to ask. I don't identify as gay, but come on in because we've done their makeup.
Absolutely.
We've bought their wigs. Like, it's
Right.
fun.
It's fun. And, you know, to build a whole outfit,
Mhm.
a whole look for even one night for these folks.
Right.
It's really rewarding to see it. You know, I've been very fortunate that I've had an opportunity to work with a few of them.
Mhm.
And where I met them was at T-Girl Saturdays,
Right.
when we would do the shows, when we would watch the parade.
It's so interesting because we do get to see the difference in all of it, you know, for people who do drag. You know, you're very glamorous, and I don't want to say campy because it's not campy. It's the glamour of shows like Dynasty, you know, shows like Falcon
Absolutely.
Crest, all of that beautiful stuff, but then into the 90s and supermodels. But there's some people that don't just want the visual, they want the feeling on the inside of the femininity. And
Right.
we're able to offer them. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to achieve, let's do that. Let's help you do that.
Yeah. Once you put on that lash or once that lace is glued down and their face just brightens up, that really makes me happy. You know,
Yeah.
like I made someone's night.
That's so beautiful. There used to be a place in Studio City
Mhm.
called the Jim Bridges Boutique, and it was right next door to the Queen Mary nightclub that Dolly Levi performed at for years as their legendary entertainer. But Danny
Yes.
Kaye also worked there, legendary. Maximiliana,
Yes.
Vanity Halston. Anyway, next door at Jim Bridges, they used to have people would come in and they would check their clothes and they would get full outfits. And that's what they were known to do. Makeovers on people just for the night.
Absolutely. And I think we should continue that. I feel like that kind of, you know, has died down,
Yeah.
you know, throughout the years. And I feel like this is something we can continue and a business that we should continue because there is an audience for that.
Yeah.
And I think we should just co-own
I don't know why we don't.
why not?
I mean, really.
right. Yeah.
I mean, listen, these people have money.
Money. The more zeros you have, the
Right.
better.
Do you like coins? Do you like roses?
You like to get coined or do you go on dates or?
Do you go on? Well, I mean, I tell people all the time, we've been many women in our lives.
We have.
And they go, what does that mean? And I'm like, what do you think it means?
Right.
I'm not like, I'm pretty much an open book, but if I have to like
Break
lead
it
you
down
to
for
the
you.
water, yeah.
Right. If I have to, you know, walk you through it, baby
Right.
girl, this
Yeah.
is a question you should not be asking.
Prostitutes, call girls,
Right.
dominatrix. Do you understand what we're saying? We will take your money and sit on your face.
Yeah, I'll sit in your face with this.
We'll
How
put
about
makeup
that?
on. 1 ball, 2 ball, crypt orchid. What do you want?
Right. Do you want me to whip you?
I want you to hear this. I want you to take all this and understand. If you've got money, we've got honey. Okay?
No money, no honey for you,
No
baby.
money, no honey.
No, baby.
It's really hard. Some people just don't get it.
They don't.
They
They
don't
don't,
get it.
understand the process to all this glamour and the effort and time it takes for us glamour puss to be
Right.
to look like this.
Let me ask you this. What about if you're performing and you're glamour puss just like you are, and then you turn and your wig is like in your mouth?
Stop it.
How do you gracefully get that out of there?
Oh, well, you know, you could just always playfully, like, you know, brisk your hair. Hopefully there's not a streak of your lip gloss or your lipstick.
Oh, because you use lip gloss generously.
Very.
How much lip gloss would you say you go through in a week? How long would a tube last?
A
month?
tube last. Oh, baby,
Not a month.
not a month. Not a month. I'm just globbering it on till it's like running down right here.
Oh, does that ever happen to you?
It has. It
Yeah.
has happened. And the worst part is it was documented and it was sent to me in a DM. I'm like, baby, why would you post that?
People will always tag
Yeah.
a photo. And you know what's funny is they'll tag it and you're like, don't you realize how bad I look?
Right. With those tag photos, baby, You know how you on Instagram, those are all blocked. Those are like, you can't tag me.
You have to untag that shit.
untag myself.
You do.
Even under Reels. I was like, I'll like
Do
it,
you?
but I will untag myself, baby.
No, what is it? Collaborative post?
No, baby.
None of that.
None of that collaboration, honey. Blocked.
Let's take a break. Let's take a look at some very Delta art. We are back with the gorgeous and glamorous Ivy Colby. A lot of people know that this show is a place where we fry the small fish, meaning we know there's bigger problems in the world. But how do we get through each day unscathed? I mean, there's always just like something where you're like, that one thing just set me off. Is there anything that's on your nerves, a small fish that needs to be fried?
Oh, absolutely. There's one too many on my list.
Okay.
One thing that, you know, you and I both have a grievance on are fast food and the drive-through in our orders. And this is specifically for Popeyes because
Okay.
Popeyes, we like Popeyes, but I
Right.
know we have problems with their chicken tenders.
Right.
That's another small fish to fry in a little bit. But when I order food, fast food specifically, not as often as I used to, I will do an app order.
Okay.
I hate going in person and, you know, I'm specific with my food. So I hate going in person and having to share like, this is, you know, what I want specifically. That's why I go to the app. It's easier.
Mhm.
You know, I don't have to interact or talk to anyone. And then you get to the drive-through, you show them your order, make sure you're like actually the person picking up the order. You list all I want my blackened ranch.
Uh-huh.
I want my Cajun sparkle seasoning.
Uh-huh.
And you get your food. And then you usually, if it's an app order, it's pre-packed already, right?
Right.
Someone checked it, packed it for you, it's ready to pick up. Why don't you, when you open it, everything is missing?
Everything is missing.
Every single thing's missing.
And why so stingy with the sauces? Like, if you're going to offer them,
Right.
why is it like, I'm not going to put any of them in there? No honey. And they have honey,
Right.
butter, hot sauce, dipping sauce. I mean, what the
Yeah, all you have to do is read the receipt. It's just reading the receipt.
honey, butter. I always think about this. How would you eat it? Do you think if you're going to have a biscuit, you would probably want butter on it? Probably.
Yeah.
So just throw it in there.
Just throw in there. Just throw in a few extra ones too.
Yeah. It's not taking anything from you.
No, absolutely not.
I hate that.
I hate it.
Now, what about the tenders? What's your feeling on them?
Oh, those tenders are getting smaller and smaller by the day. And a 3-piece is usually just, you know, a piece and a half when you get it.
Just crumbles.
Just crumbles. And I was like, oh, that's a little piece. That's a tender for you.
You know, I met someone that worked as a manager at Popeyes recently, and he told me, because I said, every time I order them on DoorDash and they come, they're all like chewy and hard.
Right.
And he said they just sit under the heat lamp too long. That's the problem.
Do they
know
like
that.
specifically make like just the heat lamp for Delta? Like, this is Delta's order.
I think so.
I think they
so.
do this on purpose now.
Well, and someone in the comment section said, I can't believe all of these horrible things happen to you over and over and over. And I said, they don't always happen to me over and over and over. The problem is that I make a big deal about them when they do happen. And so most people are mellow, and I appreciate that. Most people are like, ugh, whatever. It's just lunch. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
For me, I don't do anything else but eat lunch. So it's a big deal. I don't have to complain about the gym because I don't go to the gym. I don't have to complain about buying art because I don't buy art. I eat lunch and I want it right. And I want it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and correct. Like,
And correct.
I stole your dad's banking info to get lunch. Correct
Right.
it, please.
Right. Have you ever taken someone's phone and cashed apped or Venmo'd yourself from their phone?
Baby, I personally have not done that, but I've had friends, maybe mutual friends that we know were like, oh, let me give you my Instagram, baby. You know us. Like, hi, baby. And baby, they are Venmoing themselves on their phone. And I was like, bitch. I was like, I wish I had the balls to do that.
I wonder how much they could do without really maybe $100.
Right.
Like not a lot.
Just not a lot. Just a few more zeros. But
I mean, if you think about it, $100, that's like a decent going out to lunch with someone.
Baby, that's 2 bookings.
It is 2 bookings. In LA, it sure is.
2 weeks later, too. 2 weeks later.
Can you imagine if the girls and the boys, the kings and the queens and the in-betweens got a raise in LA?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Pigs would be flying.
That's just not happening.
It's not happening, baby. And there's so many more performers.
Right.
And I'm happy to see it. I feel like there's there's a booking for everyone, but not everyone is meant for the same booking. And
I heard that. Say it in there.
There's a booking for everyone, but not everyone's meant for the same booking.
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's so true. And it's not shade. It's just saying like we all have our lane.
Right. We all have our different lanes or different avenues where we excel at. And, some folks maybe just may need an extra time to get there.
Yeah. And what about, not everyone, some people will work full time just doing shows. Mm-hmm. And some people like yourself, you're a worker. You will work a full non-drag job, and then you will get in drag and go do this. Meanwhile, also working a beauty business when it comes to like customized lashes or taking on makeup. How do you balance all that?
I think that it's just the way I was brought up growing up. I've always been, raised to be a hard worker. And to aim for what I put my eye into and my goals in. And ever since I started doing drag, I have been working full time. Mm-hmm. So it's a Monday through Friday job. Right. And after I'm off work, it's usually, okay, time to just get your things together and start getting ready for the night show.
Right.
And, it's a lot of work. I really commend folks that just do drag full time because especially these days, it's just, I don't know how I can pay my bills and afford to live with rent with just doing drag full time. But kind of going back, I've been working full time since I started drag about 15 years ago. Yeah. And, that's just a quality that has stuck to me. And I think what I love the most too is making money. I love money.
Right.
We both love money. And, I say I can work full time, have a benefits, a 401k, have PTO, that's not, something we always hear in the drag world, right? Mm-hmm. And being able to entertain and hang out with friends like yourself and everyone else and, make money making lashes and making people look beautiful. Why not?
Yeah. You are known for specializing eyelashes.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So several years ago, an artist formerly known as Wilhelmina Caviar, you know her, mm-hmm. Billy Beluga. Mm-hmm. I wanted to create lashes. I could never find lashes that fit my eye. Mm-hmm. And that was my biggest struggle. And like kind of going back earlier, I'm like my biggest critique, right? I look at my photos, I zoom in, I was like, what was I wearing? I could never find a good lash for me. Mm-hmm. So what I started doing was I just started piecing lashes, cutting them up and making my own. And eventually folks started liking them. I was like, hey, do you make custom lashes for people?
Right.
And that's what rolled into that kind of like little business I had where I've even made lashes for yourself.
Yeah,
too,
of
right?
course.
And they're beautiful. And another thing, it's like they look great on me. I think that, I give it out to friends, to family, like, hey, I think this would look great on you. Why don't you try it? And it was just a little hobby that was just, a little side hustle that I was doing that eventually became a little thing where there was a drag following and people were buying them. Yeah. Sure.
And it's just like wigs, I think. A lot of people do wigs and they do their style. And then a lot of other people do custom jewelry.
Absolutely.
There's so many people that want wigs, lashes, custom. They just go to who they go to. And, you like what you like. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would love to try false eyelashes sometime. I think that sounds so fun. I do a little bit of Vaseline and I just rub them. That's what I do here. Just make them shiny.
Just make it look shiny.
Yeah, I don't do anything.
Just a little Maybelline Great Lash that's clear.
None of that.
Yeah.
Fake,
You don't do the little clusters that the folks on TikTok and Instagram are doing?
That's for the other kind of girls.
Yeah, you're the
I
natural
don't do
day
fake
woman.
at all.
I love that. Gorgeous.
I want to play Marry Kill.
Okay. Marry
This
Kill.
is going to be makeup products.
Okay.
And why? Well, actually, makeup brands.
Sure.
MAC, Tarte, Smashbox.
Okay. I'm going to kill Tarte
Okay.
because they're not inclusive.
Okay.
Okay, so inclusivity is important to me. I will marry MAC. MAC is my homegirl.
Yeah.
It's, you can't go wrong with MAC Cosmetics.
You can do a full face for MAC.
Absolutely.
No matter
absolutely.
what coverage you need.
Right. And, it's, that MAC is built for artists, makeup artists. So I know that the quality of the items are going to be good, especially for stage.
Mm-hmm.
Even for an everyday woman, like I can't go wrong with MAC. And I would probably, Smashbox.
Yeah.
Do they even exist still? I don't know. Do they still? Are
I
they
think
still
they're
alive?
still around. I think they're still around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smashbox is like.
They're there.
Smashbox is like, you know what it is? Smashbox, I think, is like that girl, but MAC is that bitch.
Yeah, she's that bitch up on the top.
If you go to a MAC counter, you'll find what you need.
Absolutely.
If you
And
go to the store, you'll
Right.
find even more.
even more. Yeah, and I can spend a whole day at a MAC
Oh,
store.
yeah.
There's so many things. Like it's like a little playground for me.
Yeah. Marry, kill, a ring, earrings,
Okay.
a bangle bracelet.
Oh my God, Delta, you're making this difficult. Look at this.
I know.
You know what? I will kill the bangles.
Okay.
All right. But definitely marry the earrings.
You have to have earrings.
Yeah. I don't care if you have long hair on, you have short hair on. I see your ears. I see those Dumbo ears. Put something on there.
Yes.
Right. And always, I will a ring. honey.
Right. Because even if you don't have a ring on and you have to draw attention to your hands, you can like pull your hair back and you
Right.
can see the earrings. You can lose some of your fingers in your hair. Like that makes sense, right?
Right.
But the bangle, there's something extra cunty about the sound. There's something extra cunty about the sound and the movement of bangles.
Yes.
Especially when you're reaching at someone and they
Right.
just trickle around.
And just the shine and you
Not
blind them.
everybody's doing a bangle.
No.
I like bangles.
I'm missing that with a lot of performers these days. It's like, where are the jewelry?
Mhm.
Where's the bangles? Like, again, this is just the attention to detail. I'm so OCD with the look from head to toe. And you know
Right.
this about me as well. It's like, we're looking at everything.
Just something.
Just something. Give us a little, accessories. And I feel like that's also part of the styling,
Mhm.
So yes, get yourself some bangles, kids.
Where are these from?
These ones are from a drag performer. Her name is Chanel Hunter.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Chanel Hunter. And I will say I've gone through Chanel Hunter with many of my drag orders, and she always comes through.
Right.
And
Nothing
she
but
can
good
customize it.
things.
Yeah. And she can customize it for you.
So beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
So beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just those fine details. And if you invest in something good like that, these Chanel Hunter pieces,
Right.
there's something that you start with a basic, simple, like a clear or an
Right.
AB or black or red, and then you can wear them with lots of outfits.
Absolutely.
That's where you
And
start.
yeah, I feel like when I had my drag daughters, taking them shopping with jewelry, I was like, let's get your clears. Let's get your ABs. What do you like? And then have jewelry, because when you have those, your staples, it can match any outfit.
Right. How many drag children do you have?
Wilhelmina had several drag children, but Ivy is a virgin, honey.
Right.
She's a
So
virgin.
you've vaginal rejuvenation.
I did.
When did you have a vaginal rejuvenation?
Several years ago,
Uh-huh.
probably about a year or two ago. Yeah,
Did it take a long time to heal?
it
Or?
did. There was too many fillers. It was leaking. So we want to make sure that it was nipped and tucked properly.
And now everything's
Everything's,
fine.
yeah, fresh as a daisy.
You can go swimming in
Yeah.
a 2-piece.
Yeah, just a 2-piece, not a
Uh-huh.
1-piece. It has to be a 2-piece. It has to be
Right.
one of those string ones.
Well, it's what the clients want.
Yeah, that's what they paid for.
It's what they
That's what
paid
they
for.
ordered.
Right. It's what they ordered on the app.
Yeah.
You could have an Ivy Colby app.
I should,
What
right?
would that serve? What would be on there? Customized lashes,
Absolutely.
makeup appointments in
Right.
private.
Right. In call, out call.
Mhm. Generous to the front of the line.
Right. Dates only.
Dates
Serious inquiries
only.
only.
GFE, girlfriend experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
You have to have a bouquet ready, because if you don't,
Right.
turn around and cancel that appointment.
Absolutely. Let's take a break. let's take a look at some very Delta art. We are back with Ivy Colby. This is the part of the show called Read Me Delta. People will send in letters. They have questions. They have concerns. I don't know what comes through, but our producer picks out the letters. And if you have a letter you want to write, you can send it to readmedelta@gmail.com.
Well, before we do that, I wanted to give you a little something.
Oh.
So this is just a little something I wanted to give you because for inviting me as a guest.
I'll stop.
And this one specifically, I took this out of my archives because this is long gone, but I want you to.
Really?
Yes.
Can I open it?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
No way. You really did pull this out of your... This is the best. This is a shade scent by MAC called Velvet Teddy, and it's based off of the lipstick Velvet. This is so thoughtful. Are you kidding me?
I thought of who deserves this more? It's you. You love fragrance. We both love MAC Cosmetics. I love you, and you deserve it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is not, you can't get this anymore.
No.
If you do not already own this, you have to search eBay for this. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. And it's Velvet Teddy. It's not just a fragrance. It's specific to us.
Yes. And it's very you. That scent is very, very Delta.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's see. Dear Ms. Very Delta and Very Guest, as I recently became a fan of your show, I've been indulging in the episodes like they're a grocery store cake and you just can't let it go to waste. Shout out Whole Foods Berry Chantilly Cake. Where you at, girl? Anywho, you've mentioned a couple of times various names for theoretical listeners, and you've mentioned mine. Hearing my name come from Delta Work herself pleases me so much, but it also makes me wonder, what's in a name? My question to you is, if you could change your name, would you? How did you and your lovely guest get your names? Would love to hear from you. Happy Pride. Sincerely, Very Joshua. How did you get your name?
Okay.
Would you change your name?
Well, I have changed my name recently, and Ivy Colby. So Ivy is really coming from Poison Ivy. I got an inspiration from that, and I've always liked that name from the start. And Colby, probably is from the legendary house of Colby. So Sasha Colby is my fabulous, talented drag mother,
right?
Who took me under her wing, who I got a chance to meet when she first moved out here. I remember when she was a go-go dancer, and we would host club nights together, and it was one of those moments where we were like, oh, I don't really know the other girls. So we just wound up hanging out together, both party girls. So we partied, had a great time. And she's like, I like you. You're a whore like me.
Right, which is true.
Yeah, very much a proud whore. And she's like, you're my daughter.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
her so much.
Who would play you in your life story?
I don't know. I want to ask you that. Who do you think would play me?
Well, I mean, it would have to be, we'd have to have a time machine. Because I would love for her to be the age that you are now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would have to be Tia Carrere, who I love.
And I know you've made those references. Yeah.
Whore.
Hi.
Hair. Makeup. Beautiful.
Glamour puss head to toe.
Tia Carrere. Yes. Or, you know who else could play you? Is Tiffany Amber Thiessen could play you. Yes. That would be sickening.
Yes, it would be.
Yeah, I love that.
And I love your recommendations because it's like, you know me and you know what, you know the look. So I trust your judgment.
Glamorous. I love that. I love that.
The glamorous life.
I think have I changed my name? Well, when I first started doing shows, I didn't have a drag name.
Okay.
And Wes, we were talking about DJ Wes earlier. He was like, you're welcome to be in the contest, but we need to write your name in. What's your name? And I was like, well, my name's Gabriel. And he's like, well, what's your drag name? And I'm like, I don't have one.
Right.
So he would introduce me as Gabrielle.
Ooh, not
so
Gabrielle.
I'm so serious. And I was like, what? And then I wanted, at some point, I wanted a name that seemed like an 80s actress.
Right.
And so I wanted to be called Fawn, Fawn, because I felt like that was so puss to be like, oh, my name's Fawn, like Fawn Darling or like Fawn something. That seemed so 70s, 80s to me. That didn't last long. My friend Gary and I came up with that. And then Delta obviously came from when I worked at Ripples and drag queens like Mama, I think Bridget of Madison County was working at that time, a few other people. They were doing an Ladies of the 80s night.
Okay.
And so they were like, oh my gosh, for our designing women, we don't have a Suzanne Sugarbaker. Why don't you you'll be Delta Burke.
Right.
And they were like, oh, she kind of looks like Delta Burke. And I mean, at the time I was still wearing like my actual glasses in drag. Like I would have to, this is when I first met Psychedella. I would have to, before I went on stage, I would have to take my glasses off and hand them to Psychedella.
Aww.
And I would perform and I couldn't see anything. And so Psychedella would be like, bitch, you're missing all your tips. And I'm like, I can't see. And it was Psychedella who was like, girl, we need to get you some contacts. Like you need contact lenses really bad. And I was like, oh, I'm so scared. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't want to poke my eyes. And so then, of course, from then on, I ended up wearing contacts. But yeah, like the names, if I could change it, I don't know what I would change it to. Fawn. I'd go back.
I'm going to call you Fawn now.
You're going to have to. That's my date name. Oh, I do have date names. Oh, yeah. That's different. Those are people like, back in the day when you were like fast and loose,
Damn. I didn't know you mentioned torta.
Dang.
That's enough, baby. That's enough.
Oh, no, this is going to be for you. You are young. How old are you?
I'm
young.
Yeah.
You're young.
Seasoned.
Your eyes are better than mine. You're going to have to read that letter.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. We have an essay here.
It is an essay.
Gosh. All right. Dearest Delta and legendary guest, you've done lots and lots of traveling with your iconic career. You've been a guest and hosted lots of brunches. Please tell us what are your top 3 brunch bars as a performer or a patron. Delta, I think your choice would be Hamburger Mary's Long Beach, especially because it's your home bar and your gal pal Jules Long Beach is a producer.
Yeah.
Obviously, at Hamburger Mary's Long Beach, you would perform Madonna, Justify My Love, utilizing only Madonna's background moaning and heavy breathing in a loop, mixed by DJ Josh Peace. Seductively walking down the Mary's multiple stair levels, tables, and seating. Sliding your hands across each patron's shoulders, walking towards the Mary stage. As you arrive to the stage, you sway side to side with hip thrusts, eyes closed, head tilted back, with your right index finger placed in your mouth, palm facing forward. Oh my God, I'm getting wet. Oh my goodness. Your face is blasted with purple stage lights, and your lower half is consumed with fog from the fog machine rising from the ground. Suddenly, you notice the red pickup truck guy. Oh, fuck. Sitting in front of the table with a group of other men. You hear them talk amongst themselves about what they would do to you if they had 5 minutes with you backstage. You walk up to the red pickup truck guy and whisper in his ear, I want you to be your children's mother. Then placed your IUID in his right hand, closing his hand slowly. Does this sound accurate to you? Please tell us all. Love always, La Berja.
He's a fucking idiot. I swear to God.
I hate Jose La Berja.
You know Jose sits at his job. He sits in his office.
Yes.
We were supposed to be working in a law firm, and you're writing these... King, the best.
The best.
The
and
best.
La Verja and Jose and I love him. When I first started doing drag, we followed each other on Instagram, and he would just comment cunty. Cunty. And I was like, bitch, I live. I live. Live. This is very much you at every brunch.
Well, that's definitely me at the third brunch.
Yeah.
I think it's a Sunday third brunch.
Yes.
Saturday second brunch.
Yes.
It just depends on how many people are in the audience. Definitely Fleet Week in Long Beach when all of the Navy are there.
Yes.
Definitely Executive Suite when there's one person in the audience.
Right. Just in the corner
Just
where
in
you
the
can't even see
corner.
them.
And then I finally get over there and it's actually just the spotlight guy who's not operating the spotlight anymore.
It's up because it's not facing you
It's
anymore.
up. It's up. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't, his imagination.
Right.
But it's so exacted and succinct,
yes.
right?
I feel
the
like I'm being
IUD.
watched. Like, am I in Big Brother? Like, I'm being watched, like, my every move and every
Right.
detail. And I love his attention to, like, your mannerisms and just knows you. And I love that.
I can always hear him going, oh, when he's like writing.
You like that?
He's a fool.
The fool. The only.
The fool.
The only. We love them.
Yeah.
We love La Verja.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is so fun. Thank you for my beautiful gift. I'm really, I can't, honestly, I can't open it.
Well,
I
you have
really
to.
can't open it. I can't. I have like this much left in one at home.
Right.
And I've actually wondered because I know you've Googled, or not Googled, but you've just searched and found different sites that will mimic other fragrances, other wigs,
Right.
other things. So I'm wondering if we can find a company that has a similar fragrance profile so we don't have to bust into that
No,
one.
because that's something that, you know, you hold on to.
Because we could save this and we could put this in like a time capsule.
Right.
And when the aliens come, they'll know we were here.
Yeah, they know. It's like, I know exactly what Delta Work smelled
Uh-huh.
like. Or what Fawn smelled like.
Right. Fawn. That is
baby.
Fawn's
Fawn.
fragrance.
Yeah.
This is so fun. Thank you again.
Thank you
I
for
love
having me. I love you too.
Today on Very Delta, we learned that even whores can be professional. We'll see you next week. And until then, keep things very Delta. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Danielle Mitchell. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions. They see me rolling, they hating. Gotta catch me riding dirty. Gonna catch me riding dirty.
Mom!
Watch Very Delta uncensored, ad-free, and a day early by subscribing to Mom Plus Gold. Sign up today at mompodcast.plus for premium content, including weekly episodes of More Very Delta.